What's up, YouTubers? Welcome back to the channel. Got the new toy here, ready to unbox it and let you know what I think. Check it out. Nice. Arrma Notorious. I've never had one, and I've had my eye on them for a while. I've always had the Arrma Kraton and preferred that style truck, but today I want to check it out, dig into it more, and let you know some opinions on it. But before I do that, there's something I've been meaning to do. Much better. So I put these chargers bolts on here because, well, I was born and raised in Southern California, and as soon as I saw these colors, blue and yellow like that, it just fit perfectly with these bolts. So I'm actually not the hugest football fan, truth be told, but I like the Chargers and got to represent where I'm from. So this truck's now called Bolt Up. So let's get into it and see what it looks like inside. All right, so right away I can tell some key differences between this and what I'm used to on the Kraton. Very much shorter in the back end here. That's well understood. It's also, it honestly feels a little tougher on the suspension. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but definitely has a lot more stiffness on those shocks. It feels like it, at least anyway. And so you've got just a much shorter chassis overall. Definitely a stunt truck here. So just for the body in general, I do like the colors. I'm not the hugest fan of the retro design like this. I prefer this Kraton style, but very similar bodies. Honestly, this Notorious feels a little sturdier. I don't know why that is. It feels thicker to me. Interesting. So these have got some really sturdy inserts here, a little different than the Kraton, but yeah, overall it's cool, but in my opinion not quite as cool looking. Got these big beefy Dboot backflip tires. I've loved these tires ever since I've seen them. These are great for heavy rotation in the air. Can really flip easily. They've got they're tall, they're heavy. They also don't wear down very quickly with these big knobby tires that they've got. It's pretty awesome. I don't think I've ever worn down the tread. Got this cool wheelie bar built in, which again is different from the Kratons. And that's because this is such a shorter wheelbase. It's much more likely to wheelie, and that's going to stop it from flipping over. So cool feature that it comes with there. And so much like what comes with the V6 Kraton, you've got the SLT3 remote, which is a pretty decent remote. You've got, you know, the Arrma batteries. I like these are cool. The V6s are now coming with these better tools, which I like, rather than just this, what it normally came with for the wheels and stuff. It's actually got some nice hexes and the stickers and the typical manual. And so part of the benefit of the V6 versus some of the older models of the Notorious would be this clipless body design, which can be finicky, I've learned. With the Kraton, you have to kind of know just where to put your fingers to get it off. It can be a little tricky to get off. I'm still struggling with it, quite honestly. It has not popped off for me on the Kraton, and I'm hoping that's the same for the Notorious, to be able to take some hard hits and not come flying off. So that's been nice. And again, I've mentioned this before, this is very different depending on the truck you get. And so I'm not sure, Arrma needs to increase their consistency, I think, when they make these trucks. Some other benefits are the new EXB components, like the 7075 EXB chassis. that used to only come on the ESB versions. Now we've got it on the standard BLX Notorious. It also comes with this skid plate standard, which is nice. It's also got this nice split chassis brace design, which is easy to take one side off and work on things. All right, now let's take a closer look at the truck and some of the internal components. It's got this sturdier battery strap in here, which is nice. Keep the battery locked in place with some much thicker straps. It's got the same 2050 kV Spektrum Arrma motor and the 150 amp speed control with the updated firmware, which allows for a much punchier, torquier drive and cooler running. So that's an improvement that you can't get on any of the older models I've tried. Hopefully Spektrum will allow some of the older models to have that firmware, but as of yet, that has not been the case. So your only option is the V6 if you want that updated firmware. It's got an improved servo here, which is actually a really nice servo. It's the S665 Spektrum servo. Spektrum, you know, aren't known for their servos, but this one is quite strong. I've always been happy with it. And I can show you here how responsive that servo is. Wow, look at that. I mean, that honestly looks more torquey and responsive than any of my Kratons. That's pretty good. So yeah, that's the stock servo. Very nice Arrma. Some other upgrades. Got EXB limited slip differentials now, standard in the front, center, and the rear, which is a big upgrade. Makes it a lot beefier. It's got EXB shocks now, and these shock standoffs. The shocks themselves are slightly different though than the EXB version, where they've got a little bit different shock shaft, it turns out, but the rest of the shock is the same. Doesn't have those metal diffs like the EXB did, but it's still pretty good setup, pretty sturdy all around. And then the hubs are a new design as well. Let me show you what I mean. So I've got an EXB Kraton over here for comparison for the old design of the hub. And so you can see here on the new design, it's got this squared off end with 4 screws holding it in. It's supposed to be a sturdier, bulkier design compared to the old one, which looked like that. So now that we've reviewed the truck, let's take it out for its maiden voyage and give it a little test run. Alright guys, so the first order of business is to get the top speed on this Notorious, and I'm going to use this 3D printed GPS monitor holder here. This holds the GNSS SkyRC pretty perfectly. It's the reason I like it is it's got this Velcro strap. So a lot of the ones I looked up online don't have a strap like this. There's some pretty nice holders that I could find, but they don't have a way to mount it to the car very easily. And so for that reason, I really like this one. You can find it on eBay at the store called the Ultimate Gear Market, and the person who runs that's really nice. You should check it out on eBay. I'll put a link in the description. But as you can see, it not only holds it securely, but it protects the GPS with this hard plastic mount. So I would recommend you check that out. All right, let's get the top speed on this bad boy. We can get it. Try it again. It's very hard to get the top speed. Honestly, the steering is a little off. Read. Okay, 59. I'm gonna try one more. Yeah, the servo was not centered correctly from the factory, so I'm gonna need to reset that when I get home. That should be better. All right, 60. That's still really good for a stunt truck. Ooh, close. That was close. Okay, time to see what this thing can do. Not only does the cold weather make the plastic more brittle, but this ground is like landing on concrete when it's this cold out. So that's going to be a little tricky. Oh yeah, very easy to flip. That's cool. I actually am not even trying to flip. I think that's pretty common with these trucks, is it just wants to backflip. Definitely feels a lot more nimble than the Kratons I'm used to. Beauty. Hey guys, thanks for watching this. If you like this video, you're definitely not going to want to miss the next one I got coming up, where I pit that Notorious against another stunt truck for a stunt truck comparison. Check it out.